Good afternoon and welcome to the finals of the 11th Annual Schlesinger Global Family Enterprise Space Competition. I now request that all observers please be silent and silence all cell phones. Observers are not permitted to use electronic devices during this presentation. At this time, I would like to ask the judges to introduce themselves, stating name, title, and affiliation. May I please request the lead judge begin the introductions.
Thank you. I'm Jim Keller. I own a business consulting firm in Wyoming.
I'm Wendy Sage Hayward. I'm from Vancouver, Canada. I'm an academic director of the Family Enterprise Canada. I also own a family enterprise, and I educate families and advisors on family business consulting.
My name is Alexander Bergfeld. I'm the general manager of Courage Partners Singapore. Over the last 11 years, as a family-owned advisory, we helped protection, progress, and transfer of around 14 billion USD assets, 150,000 employees. And at the same time, we're doing a PhD in family business.
I'm Adam Ifshin. I'm the co-founder and CEO of DLC here in the United States.
Thank you, judges.
Thank you for those lovely introductions. I would like to introduce the team from University of California, Berkeley. The team will have 20 minutes to present. The remaining time will be displayed on this laptop. With 5 minutes remaining, my colleague here will hold up the green 5 minutes remaining sign. With 1 minute remaining, my colleague will hold up the orange 1 minute remaining sign. When the 20 minutes are up, I will stand to indicate the end of time. The team will then have 30 seconds to complete their last sentence. Judges will then have 10 minutes to ask questions of the presenting team. Once again, my colleague will signal with the corresponding 5 and 1 minute signs. At the end of the 10 minutes, I will stand to indicate the end of time. The team will again have 30 seconds to complete their last sentence. The team from the University of California, Berkeley may now begin their presentation.
Awesome. Thank you, judges, for being here today and all of the audience members. Growing up in an agricultural family business, I often saw my family and what was often multiple other families come together to invest in and grow almond orchards around California. I know firsthand that co-owned family businesses create indestructible, long-lasting, lifetime relationships. Thus, we believe it is integral for us to create a strategy for you that will propel your business forward. We believe that our strategy will address all the issues in the current family business, as well as guide the second generation in succession. Please allow me to introduce my team. I'm Karen, this is Alexa, this is Katie, and this is Kavi.
So looking into the future of your amazing family business, we have three main questions we want to address. First, how feasible is the continuity of the current structure? We believe that yes, the continuity of the family partnership is feasible. Second, what advice would we give your family and Frank? We believe the main advice to focus on over the next few years is supporting the formal governance structure and including additional governance to maintain the family business. Last, what are the current best practices that the company is already doing and what can we improve upon? We believe that we should continue to improve upon the shareholder agreement that's already been established and discussed in the family business and improve upon this in the future for the next generation.
Thanks so much, Kavi. So this ultimately leads us to the question of where do we see the family in the future? In any family business, there are three dimensions: family and business problems, family problems, and business problems. With the family and business problems, we believe that maintaining a three-family partnership is ultimately the best decision, but that we should add additional next-generation developments. On the family development side, we believe that increasing formal governance will be good for all three families, and we plan to do this by introducing the establishment of a family office. And lastly, on the business side, we believe that we should increase pathways to transition ownership to better have shareholder programs for the next generation. So moving on and stepping back to a brief history of your company, we can see that you were founded in 1988, and over the years, you have increased owner partners as well as their stake in the company. Now we are at a key decision point where some members of your company are deciding whether or not they want to exit. So we've used the 3 circles model here to list out all of the main stakeholders in your company. As you can see, the family owners are split among 3 different people, and that's the key question that we're deciding today. Extrapolating from the 3 circles model into the 3 axes model, I'd like to highlight along the top axes the ownership. We're at a nexus point between partnership between the 3 families and the inclusion of more distant relatives. Additionally, along the bottom axis of family, we are moving from collaboration to passing the baton to the next generation. So with this, we want to present to you our pre-strategy to prepare the next generation of premier real estate development. We'll do this through 3 ways. First is P, is preparing for the entry of new generations and the exit of the current members. Next is R, we want to restructure governance and establish a family office. And lastly, with our E strategy, we want to establish programs that will increase ownership of future members. So I'll kick us off with our pre-strategy to prepare entry and exit strategies. Looking at the root cause, we believe that the key problem that is driving all of these decisions and our recommendation today for you is that there is a transition that is happening between the current generation and the next generation. First, we can see that John and Adam's children are either uninterested in continuing in the business or too young to be involved at this current moment. Secondly, Frank's children have demonstrated interest and capability in the industry, and they are also considering a new startup. However, we believe this is unrealistic, so our key takeaway on this slide is to maintain a 3-family partnership and create entry and exit strategies for the current members and the next generation. So you may be wondering, why did we decide on maintaining a 3-family partnership? We use the decision criteria along the left here to rank our decisions, and we believe that the second best option would be transitioning to a sole proprietorship with Frank Porras' family in charge. However, we believe that this would not be as optimal as maintaining a 3-family partnership, where this would rank best against our decision criteria and be the most feasible and easy to implement. However, as you can see, there are certain aspects where we believe the 3-family partnership can be improved, and those are the 3 aspects where our strategy aims to help your family today. Next, I'd like to pass it off to Katie to detail further our P strategy.
Thank you, Alexa. So to understand how our P strategy will help improve upon the current 3-family partnership, let's take a look at why we decided to maintain the partnership in the first place. So we see that Frank has a lot of expertise in design and site location. John, with his leadership, although he's in a different location, has facilitated the strong relationships between the 2 managing partners. And Adam, as legal counsel, helps the company navigate an unfamiliar regulatory environment that is constantly changing. All 3 of them, over 35 years, have built the success of this business. So we believe in maintaining this current partnership model, but that there's room for improvement through an exit plan for owners and an entry plan for the next generation. So the path to exit will help understand how current owners, as they age, can retire and move into leadership succession for the next generation. An exit plan helps establish a plan for retirement, whether it's planned or expedited because of reasons such as health. This will create clarity for all generations on how they will work together in the leadership transition. Harvard Business Review's Family Business Handbook has a strategy in order to create this exit plan called the glide path. This would allow current owners to glide from their current roles and responsibilities and understand how they can transition this as they pass on these responsibilities to the next generation and owners. This involves
family business. Additionally, a family office can help you manage your priorities. We know that you have, Frank specifically, has expressed that you want to focus on architecture rather than the day-to-day operations. We also know that John is with his family in the United States and cannot manage all the priorities that he currently has. Third, a family office can operate as a way for conflict resolution. So instead of hiring those third parties, we'll have that family office that you can always refer back to should any problems arise. So let's take a look at how this would actually work. So who is going to do this? Frank, Adam, and John are going to implement a governance structure to facilitate decision-making processes. And that is going to be through the 4-room model as well as the family office. And how are we going to do this? We're going to ensure that the Owners Council has a formalized board of directors. So ultimately, using the 4-room models and keeping decisions to their key rooms will help facilitate these problems that we're currently having and ultimately have the owners and their succession of their second generation children making decisions easier. In the long term, we have owner partners and board of directors also implementing a governance structure to facilitate decision-making processes. And in the long term, that's when we'll create the family office to build upon existing governance and introduce new capabilities that the family hadn't had before. So now I'll go ahead and pass it on to Kavi to talk about the third part in our pre-strategy.
Thanks, Karen. So moving into the last part, E, we want to establish new shareholder programs to continue the existing shareholder programs that your company has already implemented. So looking at the root cause, we understand that although there's been indication of perhaps introducing a shareholder agreement, we're still a little bit unclear of how ownership transition to the next generation. This is especially important as we think about Frank, whose children want some role in a business, but are considering other opportunities because they don't know how they align themselves within our business. This is because of 2 things. First, the current ownership structure, which is split unequally among the different members. And secondly, looking at reduced involvement, where every family has different involvement in how they want to stay in the business. This leads us to our key takeaway, which is that we need a mechanism to establish ownership and the transfer of ownership and voting power within the company. So looking into the current ownership structure, we see that over the past 33 years, it's changed a lot as new family owners and family partners have come into the business. This leads us to our recommendation of creating a dual class share structure. So what this will look like is building upon the current buy-sell agreement that you already have implemented and adjusting it to include a mechanism to adjust the voting power. So what this will look like is the division of Class A and Class B shares. First, we'll look at Class A shares on the left, where you can see the 1 share, 1 vote system.